Hello everybody and welcome to the rankings of the horror movies slash TV shows that came out this year in 2021. So what's going to go on is I'm going to give a brief explanation as to why I grade each movie slash TV show in their respective tiers, and give like a quick mini review as like I said as to why. Now, I didn't see every single movie or TV show that came out this year, and so these are only the movies that piqued my interest throughout the year. Honorable mentions to Willy's Wonderland, the Chucky TV series, and also Don't Breathe 2. Those were all movies that I didn't get to see or just haven't seen yet, but I definitely will get to them. Now, before we begin, this is my opinion, so if you disagree with me, go ahead and comment below why you disagree. Just, don't be a dick about it. Be civil, please. And also, if you do agree with me, comment below why you agree with me. And so, yeah, good. Discuss. Alrighty, and with all that being said, we're going to start from worst and we're going to go all the way up to the best. And so starting with the worst, we have Wrong Turn. So Wrong Turn is odd because the original series, don't quote me, but I'm fairly certain it's a redneck family, incestual family in the woods of Virginia, or West Virginia, and Appalachians. I'm not sure if they're kidnapping or just stumbling upon people and, killing them and whatnot. But in this one, it's not just some random family, it's a cult. Cults are cool. This cult especially is pretty gruesome. I believe that there's a scene in which a guy gets their face completely bashed in, and then there's another where a guy is sent and his eyeballs or ears are taken out. But the problem is, this movie is just completely forgettable. I mean, I'm having a hard time remembering what happens, and it's just, I don't know, it's odd. It's not really a Wrong Turn movie. I feel like you could have named this anything else and it would have been just fine. But the fact that you put this into the Wrong Turn franchise is odd. It's weird, in my opinion. It just doesn't really fit with the other 6 that came out before it. And so that's why I have it so low. It's just because not only because it doesn't really feel like a Wrong Turn movie, but because it's just not really memorable. It's just not that great, in my opinion. I do remember the ending with the faux ending, and that was pretty cool. But other than that, I just don't really remember even the plot or why anything happened. I don't know. It's just really forgettable to me, and that's why I have it ranked so low. I don't know. It's just really forgettable. I don't know, man. Final grade for this one will have to be a D. Next up, we have The Unholy. The only reason I saw it was because Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in it, who plays in The Walking Dead. We'll get to that later. But he piqued my interest. He got me to go see it. Now, I wasn't expecting much, but it was pretty decent for what I was expecting. I mean, I was expecting sort of like a Conjuring, paranormal movie, which it is. It's not the best movie I've ever seen. It's not the worst movie I've ever seen. It's just a middle of the line paranormal movie. I do like the plot. This demon possessing this girl and portraying themselves as the Virgin Mary is pretty cool, and how this demon summons all these people to her and gets her to believe is really fascinating to me, and how honestly realistic and how that could happen in real life. All these miracles and people believing in this woman, thinking that they are this religious figure. And I think that's possible. I really do think that's possible in real life. What didn't I don't know. The acting was pretty solid. I don't remember the main character's woman name, so I apologize for that. But I did like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I did like the supporting cast. And so, other than that, it's just mid, man. It's just really mid. And the CGI for this demon wasn't really good, and that it's weird. It takes me out of it whenever I see it on screen, because for 2021 it just doesn't look very good. And so for all those reasons I've mentioned, I will give this movie a C-. Speaking of Jeffrey Dean Morgan, next up we have The Walking Dead Season 11 Part 1. And oh boy, was this disappointing. Oh my god, was it disappointing, dude. I love The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is one of my favorite shows of all time. But man, did this season so far under deliver. Oh my god. First time through, I really did enjoy it, but in retrospect, it's just not okay for a finale, man. Not only did we get introduced to a new villain, but they died within the however many episodes, and it really sucks because Pope was. I loved Pope. I loved Pope's character. He was so different, but you know, they had to kill him off for Leia, whatever, man. I hated her character so much, dude. She comes out of nowhere at the end of season 10 in those bonus episodes as a love interest for Daryl when it just doesn't make any sense for his development, at least. But Leia, it sucks. I'm pretty sure this opinion is shared by many. Leia is garbage. The Maggie Negan dynamic is always awesome. It's really good. The beginning, though, like the first 2-3 episodes, I don't remember what they're called, but it starts with the A. Those 2 episodes are really, really good, and then it just, you know, I don't know. The first 2 episodes are really good in that train, and when you think Maggie's gonna die and whatnot, when Negan leaves him, those are so good. That's so good. But then we get to Alexandria, and it's just so boring. The Whisperer's side plot is mildly intriguing. I don't know, man. The walkers getting into Alexandria is scary, but it's just not really scary. It hasn't put any of our characters at risk yet. I don't know. It's just been super underwhelming so far. I am really excited to see part 2 this spring or whenever it's coming out, but so far it's just been alright. It's been mid, man. I'll give this series as a whole is an S, but this season so far it's gotta be a C-. So next up we have The Forever Purge. It's a Purge movie. Do I need to say any more? It's okay. I saw that there was a lot of hate on this movie. Probably because from a film perspective, it's not great. But from a Purge perspective, this movie is perfectly fine. I mean, I enjoyed it for what it's worth. I mean, it's just a Purge movie. What else is there? What else are you supposed to expect? You're gonna have this crazy plot about some messed up shit. I mean, the idea of a purge is extremely frightening to me, and so every time I sit down and hear that siren, or sit down and just watch one of these movies, it kind of makes me feel weird in the stomach. To me, I mean, it's a scary movie for that. For the premise is scary, but in just all reality, it's not a scary movie. Alright, so now that I'm done with that, the Purge, the Forever Purge is a nice change in the Purge-verse. The Purge-verse. Instead of us living with these people for one night, we're living with these people for like multiple. We actually survive a purge, and then we have to survive multiple more days of purge-like. In the Forever Purge, I figured this would happen at some point where people wouldn't give a fuck anymore, and they would just kill people after the purge, and that ends up happening. And so this is even scarier than the home invasion and the Purge, the first Purge, not the first Purge movie, but the Purge. And so the way that they execute it, I think, is pretty nice, and how they have to get to the border and, you know, and all that shit. There isn't really a main villain besides the Purge purifiers, and there's a lot of those guys. Let's see. So the whole series, we are rooting against the NFFA, but in this movie, you're supposed to kind of root for them because they are trying to exterminate the Purge purifiers, while the Purge purifiers are trying to exterminate the civilians that quote-unquote don't belong. And so the whole time you're rooting for the government to actually do something about these guys, which they try and ultimately fail. They ultimately fail, but I think that's pretty cool in how they flip the script a bit. They make it to where we feel for the government, even though they created this crazy holiday. And I think that's a really cool way to set up the next movie, because there's obviously going to be another one, and a cool way to set up the next movie and maybe make the NFFA the good guys for once. So yeah, that's an interesting angle that the film explores. But I mean, it sets up, like I said, it sets up the next one. But overall, it's a Purge movie. It's not going to be the greatest thing you've ever seen. I don't think, if I had to rank the Purge movies, I'd go The Purge, and then Election Year, the first Purge, Forever Purge, and then Anarchy. But overall, I'd give this movie a C. Next up, we have The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. It's a Conjuring movie. I don't really think this will be more than 30 seconds, but it's a Conjuring movie. There's not much to say. I personally don't really like the Conjuring movies, but this movie was pretty decent. I mean, of course, it's based on a true thing when it's really not. I don't know, man. It's a Conjuring movie. There's not much you can do. I don't think you can do better than The Conjuring 2, honestly, which I personally think is an A-tier movie. But yeah, other than, it's not very memorable. Just like Wrong Turn, I have a hard time remembering what happens. I do know that the beginning and opening scene is really cool. The cold opening is really cool, and how that kid is being twisted and whatnot. Other than that, it's just not really. It's a basic ass Conjuring movie. I'd give this movie a C+. Moving on. Next up, we have Spiral from the Book of Saw. I wanted to see this when it first came out in theaters, but, you know, COVID and whatnot, I didn't get to experience it in theaters. I'm glad I didn't, because this movie was just okay. That would have been a waste of money, honestly, in my opinion. I like the Saw franchise. They make me squeamish, which is a good thing for a horror movie. That's what the Saw movies attempt to do. This movie wasn't really all that. I literally guessed the killer within 20 seconds of them appearing on screen. It was that predictable, even for me, and I have a hard time predicting anything in movies. So, I mean, hey, if you take my word for it, it was really obvious as to who it was going to be. I won't spoil it. Killer was pretty obvious. I really, 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 really did like the traps in this one, especially the the wax one. That one was really gruesome. The traps were really, really unique this time around in Spiral, in which I love. I enjoy a good trap. You know, problem I have, other than it being predictable, is Chris Rock is really good actor, but I personally cannot take him seriously, because all I see of him is comedy. That's all I can think about when I see Chris Rock on screen. So it's really hard to take him seriously. But he still does really, really well, and obviously he's really funny when the comedy lands. Obviously, it's fucking Chris Rock. Last thing I will say, the ending is so odd, because spoilers. Am I supposed to be rooting for this killer, or am I supposed to be rooting for the police? Because this whole thing is a mind fuck. Am I supposed to be rooting for the crooked cop killer, or the good cop? The whole ending is just weird. It's just so odd, and they're setting up another movie, which obviously, but it's just so weird, man. I don't know. So yeah, are we supposed to be rooting for the killer or Chris Rock? But Chris Rock is kind of on the killer's side until the killer pulls another trick. I don't know, man. It was the whole ending was a mindfuck. For a Saw movie, it wasn't really all that, and so for that reason, I will give it a C to a C+. I don't know where I want to rank it there. Let's go with a C/. C/. Alrighty, next up we have Candyman. Oh boy, we have Candyman. I love the original Candyman. It is my second favorite horror movie of all time, behind Scream, of course. And it's really, really hard to live up to that original, which this one didn't. It definitely did not live up to the original at all. There's a lot of debate on this movie and its message. In my opinion, the message is very important for today's society, especially today's society in the United States of America. But I personally think that it could have been lessened a bit. Now, as I do believe that it is very important, but these messages were also in the original Candyman, but they were slight undertones. But in this movie, they're overtones, basically. pretty much the whole plot is centered around this message. The only reason I'm saying this message is because I don't want to get it wrong, and I don't want people to be pissed at me. So, I personally think that this message could have been just a little less blatant. I mean, some of the dialogue, it kind of took me out of the Candyman experience because it was so focused on that. But besides that, I think this movie was really good. The acting is really, really solid, and all the mirror stuff, you know, like in the reflections of in all the other mirror stuff was really, really well done. So that was really great in my opinion for this movie. I also really did enjoy the fact that we got a different Candyman, and we had 2 different Candymans, actually 3 different Candymans in this movie. We had the Candyman, we had, what's his name? The main character's Candyman, I don't remember his name. And then we have Tony Todd. Even though he was only in the movie for 5 seconds, it was really great to see him on screen. And this other Candyman we had, what's his name? Sherman something? Is that his name? Sherman? Sure, Sherman. His Candyman was really cool. He was the one doing the killing throughout the whole movie. But, here we go with the buts again. The rush to ending was so... Oh, God. Oh, yeah. The rush to ending was so bad. I don't want to say bad, but it was so bad, man. I mean, look, we had this pretty decent pacing throughout, and then we just rushed through the last like 10-15 minutes. The random guy, not random guy, but the guy at the laundromat is now the evil guy who wants to turn our main character into Candyman. And so he just randomly turns into a villain, and it just sucks you out of the experience. And then all the cop stuff at the very end, where it's just super rushed. And it just really, it was really annoying because I defended this with my life to my mother for the first week after we watched it. But now in retrospect, I'm thinking about it over and over again. It was just not good. It just didn't live up to anything that I really expected. Now, the good stuff is really good, but the bad stuff is just bad. So, I will give this movie a B- grade. Escape Room 2 is a really cool premise. I love escape rooms. And I love the premise of the first escape room, and now this escape room too. I really, really do love this premise of do all these tasks, do this escape room or you die. I really do like that. It's interesting. It keeps you guessing, and it keeps you thinking about what the answer might be as an audience. And it's really, really intriguing. Every room honestly kept me interested in and engaged in what's going on, and yeah, all the rooms are really cool. I really enjoyed the bank room. I think that either that or the sand room might have been my favorite. There was 2 endings to this movie. One was, what's her name? Dude, I am so forgetful. One had a woman from the original who quote unquote died but survived, and she ended up surviving, and they wanted her to create a room for her to be set free. But the ending that I saw originally was way better, but the twist was weird. It had Claire, this woman that was locked up her whole life and creating these rooms. It had her escape because of our main character, and it turned out she was evil the whole time, which was okay, I guess. And obviously it sets up the next movie, but it was cool. I wasn't expecting it, but at the same time, it just wasn't really. I know I'm being negative, but it just I did like the ending. The twist was okay. That's what I was saying. I did like the rooms again. I did like all the rooms. I like how they're gonna set up another movie. I hope so, because I really do like these escape room movies. And so, with all that being said, I will give this movie a B. Next up, we have Halloween Kills. Pretty good movie. Anytime I can see Michael Myers on screen, I will scream. Because I love Michael Myers' character. I love Halloween. Alrighty, so, like I said, anytime I can see Michael Myers on screen, it's awesome. The mob stuff, I did enjoy how the angry mob formed throughout the town, and that was really cool. intriguing way to make Haddonfield seem like an entity. But that weird evil dies tonight shit was just so odd. Evil dies tonight. It got annoying really quick. But yeah, the evil dies tonight stuff was very excessive. There's a lot of blatant stupidity in this movie as well. Especially from Karen, who's my least fucking favorite character of the year. Karen sucks, dude. She's so bad. She had so many opportunities to kill Michael Myers, and she just didn't. I mean, I love Michael Myers, but if you have the opportunity to kill this motherfucker, kill him, dude. Kills, like always, really cool for Michael Myers. And I know this is a hot take, but that gun kill was awesome. I saw so many people hating on this, but in my opinion, it was second or third best kill in the movie. Dude, she's walking up, and Michael kicks the door, and bro, that's so cool and unique, in my opinion. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was pretty cool kill. I know everybody that I saw online hated this, but I disagree. I thought it was really cool. And so, yeah, Michael Myers, doing his thing. But when he gets unmasked and he gets attacked by the mob, and then that scene, oh my god, and then that scene where he picks up the mask, puts it back on, and gets whooped by the mob, gets back up and kills them all, including Tommy fucking Doyle. It was so cool. I was in shock, dude. And then when he kills Karen at the end, oh my god, chef's kiss. I hated her so much. Even in the extended cut, there's an extended cut, by the way. That was awesome to see. It sets up even more for this third movie in the trilogy of the reboot, I guess. Reboot of the series. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna end this real quick before I go on too long. I really did enjoy this movie. Now, obviously, I don't think it was better than 2018. I hope that the third movie is really good, just like this one. And although I didn't really get to see Laurie Strode much, she wasn't really in this one. I'm hoping that she's in the next one for real. And so, with all that being said, I will have to give this movie a B+. B+. Next up, we have M. Night Shyamalan's Old. Oh my goodness. When I first saw the trailers for this movie, I thought, it's M. Night Shyamalan, don't get your hopes up. I love Signs. The Village and The Visit is really good. Sixth Sense is really good. But, he has a reputation for these twists and stuff. So I assumed it's going to be B, C tier, M. Night Shyamalan twist. But bro, this movie was really good. Really good. The premise is unique. It's really intriguing at how this beach works and how the time is structured differently here. Really freaking cool. I liked the acting is so good. Alex Wolff is such a good actor. He knows how to cry. He cries really, really well. He cries in this movie really well and in Hereditary really, really well. But Alex Wolff, so good. Thomasin McKenzie, really, really good. I'll get to her later when we talk about another certain movie. But they both really, really good actors. Actresses. And everybody else does a really, really good job. The movie is solid. It's really, really, really solid. All of the twists and turns are really good. The schizophrenic patient was really interesting to watch throughout, and how he changes throughout time. The way this woman's body just contorts itself later in the film is really creepy as well. And so literally the only thing I have holding it back is the ending is a little bit underwhelming. Now we have this island was created for these doctors to test medicines on these patients, and all these patients, and this medicine is working because this woman had seizures, didn't have a seizure for 6 hours on the beach, which would have been 16 years in her life. So their medicine is working. They're using it for good, but at the expense of lives. So it's hard to agree with their methods, and in the end our characters, our two mains, survive, and so it's really nice. It's a good movie. I think that the ending could have been done a little bit better, but other than that, I think it's really, really solid. It's one of the better movies of the year. So with all that being said, I will give this movie the grade of an A-. Next up, we have the Fear Street Trilogy. I was so pumped when I heard about these movies. The way that they bring in every aspect of the horror genre is really well. Like in the original, we have those essences of Scream in the cold open, and in the second one, we have like a Jason-like killer. It's really cool at how the whole stories all the stories tie together. I think that the second one was the best one with the Jason-like killer, and then 1 and then 3. I do think 3 is a weak point. All of them are really, really solid. I think that the third one fell a little bit short, but it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I like all the actors and actresses throughout these movies. Dude, all of the villains are so good. That dude with the baby mask with the bat is I don't know why, but the flashbacks are so funny when they're like hitting the first. I don't know. But the axe killer, I think his name is Thomas. I want to assume. Don't quote me. The Milkman killer, dude. I hope that they all get like some sort of movie of their own, or even like just like a TV series of each of their backstories, because they're so good. Kills are amazing, especially in the first one. They're so unexpected too. Like what's her name, dude? I always forget names. I don't know, but the girl's best friend with that bread slicing machine, bro. I thought they were fucking with me. I thought she was going to come back to life. Nah. That's when I knew I'd love it, because they're not afraid to kill off characters. It was really good. 2, 1, 3, and then part 2 of part 1 it will be with part 1. Overall, super solid. Really, 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 really good. I've watched it twice now. It's so fucking amazing. I will give this movie grade of an A grade. Next up, we have, this might be controversial to be on the list, but we have Squid Game. Everybody and their grandmother's mother's father knows about this TV show. I agree with everybody. This show is fucking amazing. This is really, really, really great throughout. The story, the acting, the premise is just all solid throughout all 9 episodes. Now, pretty much everything about this thing is just amazing. I did watch it in Korean because it gives you. Not only can I read fast for the subtitles, but it being in Korean, you just get so much more emotions. And when you watch a movie in its native language, it's just so much better than watching it in that awful dubbed over version. It's so I tried watching it in the dubbed version. It's awful. It's so bad. If you're gonna watch it again, watch it in Korean if you haven't the first time, or if you haven't watched it all, watch it in Korean. It's really, really good. Really, really, really good, man. I think everything is solid except for pretty much everybody I think agrees with me. We all agree on the same thing. The ending was just meh. The ending was okay. It was a little odd. The twist about the old guy. It left me disappointed. I mean, I think it would have been better for us to not know who this mastermind behind the games were. But alas, it's the old guy. It was pretty predictable after we didn't see him die that he was gonna come back. I had that in the back of my head when it's funny. I had it in the back of my head when I thought when I didn't see him die. I had it in the back of my head that he's still alive somewhere, but I didn't think he would be the big bad. They're obviously setting up season 2 for Jihan. I don't remember his name. But him to not go back to his daughter just seemed so out of character for me. I thought that this was what he was building himself to be with his family again. But alas, I'm wrong again. Why am I always wrong? I don't know. I think I'm looking at it logistically, and they're looking at it TV scriptally. So yeah, they're obviously setting up a part 2, season 2, which I hope is just as good, but it probably won't be because of how hyped Squid Games was and is still. So here's the hoping Squid Game part 2 will be good. I don't know. Other than that, it's really fucking good. I mean, there's no more explanation there is to it. I will give this TV series an A+, because it's just that goddamn good. Go watch it. We are reaching the end here, folks. And oh boy, we have Malignant. Oh my god, I can't stop smiling. Malignant was so crazy. I was so not interested in the first 30 minutes. I was bored, honestly, the first 20 minutes. But then it just kicks into some otherworldly gear and it just shoots, and it's just so good, dude. The twist is so odd and so unique that, bro, you just can't help but love it. It's just campy and goofy, and it's so amazing. I could not help but love every bit of this movie. I mean, it's rewatchable. It's so odd. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. You know what? Spoilers. The fact that this woman has another living being inside of her brain. Not only that, is subconsciously taking over her mind and walking backwards. It's so fucking crazily campy. It's so oddly funny that it's the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. When I saw that it was, when I first saw the thing, I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? But then when I realized that it's her the whole time, bro, fire. So fire. James Wan delivers so well on this movie. It's not one bit to what I was expecting in the best way possible. And the prison scene, bro, that shit was straight out of like John Wick or some shit, dude. This guy Gabriel was going nuts, bro. It was so cool how he just easily killed like 12 people. And the way that it talks is really cool through like the fucking dude, the electricity and everything, dude. It's so odd. It's so good. First 30 minutes, nah, it's alright, but then it hits hard. I saw so many people hating on this when I was like reading through when I was reading through like comments and stuff. So many people were hating on this, but this is stuff we need. We need more. It's supposed to be taken seriously, but it's not. Horror. We know what James Wan knew what he was doing with this. It's supposed to be like this. It's crazy. People ask for more unique things, and then when they get them, they shit on them, which I will get to in just a second. This is what we need, not just in horror, but in films in general. More uniqueness. Like, this is awesome. I don't even know. I think it's unique. You guys might not, but I think this is one of the best horror movies, not only of this year, but of the 2020s so far. And for that, I'm going to give this movie an S tier. You heard me right, because this movie is that goddamn good. And closing off our ranking, our tier list, our grading, we have Last Night in Soho. This was my most anticipated horror film of the year, and in my opinion, it delivered, and it is the best horror movie of the year. I saw so many people shit on this movie. So many people hate this movie. And I don't see where the hatred is stemming from. I think it's a masterpiece. It rivals Baby Driver as Edgar Wright's best film ever. Baby Driver is one of my favorite movies, and so when I saw Edgar Wright was directing a horror film, I hopped on it so quick. I didn't get to see it in theaters, like I said before, COVID and whatnot. But when I watched it, it was so captivating. It was so amazing. Anya Taylor-Joy, Thomasin McKenzie, all of the cast is just really, really good. The premise is unique to me. All of these mirror shots, all this double shots, and all these sweeping one takes and these long takes are so awesome. And in the way that the movie is portraying becoming famous, or just fame in general, is really intriguing, and how the world really works, the real way you move up in the rankings in the world of showbiz. It's really captivating. It really did draw me in. It kept me intrigued and interested the entire way through. One gripe. I have 1 to 2 gripes with this movie. One being is these weird ghostly figures that don't look very good. I'm pretty sure this is Edgar Wright's first horror movie, and it's kind of apparent with these ghosts because it kind of utilizes them a little too excessively. He uses these as his main source of horror when they're really not that scary. Other than that, the other gripe I have is the ending is a little bit odd, in which with the twist I was not expecting the twist at all. It literally left my jaw on the floor. But the fact that Sandy attempts to kill Ellie and John just didn't really work for me that well. And the way that she tries to sacrifice herself in the end, but it's a little odd. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't like overshadow anything else in the movie, in my opinion. The way that this woman Eloise can't even go to sleep without being transported to Sandy's life, and watching her have to go through all these awful things, and her just to ultimately not even be able to live her dream, is just really sad. But in the end, she gets her revenge, and she gets her she gets her revenge. But anyway, with all that being said, I know I didn't say much. This movie, I think it's a must watch. I really do think that it is the best horror movie that came out this year. It is really, really intriguing, interesting for me. And for all those reasons that I have said, I will give this movie an S+, because it is just that goddamn good. And on that note, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Every time anybody clicks on one of my videos, and especially when they watch to the very end. If you disagree, which you probably will, go ahead and comment below. Like I said, just be civil. And if you do agree, also comment below as to why you agree and where you agree at. If you like the video, and comment below once more if I should do similar videos like this. I do want to make a video on my most anticipated horror films for 2022. I think that there's going to be some really good ones, especially Scream. Oh man, I'm so happy and so excited for that one. One more time, this was my opinion. Please don't hate me too harshly. If this is your first impression of me, hello, I'm Justin King. I do horror. I love horror. All things horror genre. That's what we do here. Not just movies, but grisly real life shit. So if you like me, if you like my personality, like the way I explain things, I have plenty of videos on the channel for you. Thank you for watching once again. Thank you for listening. Have a splendid day, splendid night. Goodbye.